Has this ever happened to you? A man appears in your life like a shadow brushing against the edges of your consciousness, curious, tentative, yet undeniably drawn, as if something unseen tugs at his very being. He cannot name it, cannot understand why, yet he feels compelled. This is not the ordinary magnetism of superficial attraction. It is something far older, deeper, a resonance of archetypes embedded in the collective unconscious, a dance of the anima and animus, of light and shadow, desire and restraint. Some women carry it naturally, though they may not realize it. The ability to ignite fascination without effort, to awaken obsession with nothing more than presence, silence, and deliberate enigma. It is a power that does not seek conquest, yet compels surrender. In the subtle interplay of psyche and perception, the mind of a man encounters these traps, these invisible provocations, and falls irresistibly into a labyrinth of longing and fascination. A first trap often lies in absence, masquerading as indifference. Men, conditioned through generations to seek what eludes them, find themselves pulled toward a woman who refuses to reveal all, who is composed yet untouchable, who holds a boundary not as a barrier but as a signal of self-possession. The unconscious mind, ancient and instinctual, senses the value in scarcity. It recognizes the shadowed contours of a woman who cannot be possessed as a challenge to the ego. In moments when he reaches only to find distance, a strange alchemy occurs. Desire sharpens. His ego projects fantasies into the gaps you leave, filling them with intensity, obsession, a craving that is as much about what you withhold as what you reveal. The woman who masters this trap does not do so from manipulation but from a profound self-awareness. She is attuned to the rhythm of her own spirit and honors the pulse of her independence. Yet absence alone is insufficient. The second trap resides in emotional unpredictability, not cruelty but complexity. Men are drawn to the depths of emotionality they cannot immediately navigate, the undercurrents of sentiment that defy straightforward decoding. A woman who experiences and expresses her emotions fully, without seeking approval or reassurance, becomes a living mirror of the unknown. In these reflections, men confront their own unintegrated shadows, the parts of themselves they have repressed or ignored. They are compelled to engage, to seek understanding, to chase, because within her emotional landscape lies both challenge and revelation. Jung would call it an encounter with the anima, a psychic mirror that is both magnet and mystery, seduction and self-exploration. The third trap emerges through silence as a weapon of presence. It is not the shallow quiet of avoidance but the deliberate, profound stillness that communicates power, depth, and self-possession. A man, conditioned to fill voids with words, cannot resist the tension of unspoken thought. The pauses, the spaces between conversation, the intentional non-response, become irresistible lures. In these silences, he projects his desires, fears, and imaginations. Every imagined word he attributes to you binds him closer to your essence. This is not manipulation. It is an alignment with the natural laws of psychic magnetism. A woman who understands this effect learns that true influence is rarely loud. It is a stillness that commands without demand. Fourth, there is the trap of enigmatic confidence. A woman who moves through life with self-assured grace, whose identity is unshakable by external validation, triggers a profound psychological response. Men are wired to detect authenticity, even at an unconscious level. When a woman does not seek affirmation from others, when her joy, presence, and value exist independently of his attention, he feels compelled to earn what she already possesses. Here, desire is intertwined with respect and admiration, forming a bond that is far more intense than mere infatuation. It is an attraction forged not in the fire of need but in the resonance of completeness, a subtle yet irresistible force. And then there is the fifth trap, a dangerous interplay of mystery and revelation. Men are drawn to women who reveal themselves in fragments, not fully, leaving room for imagination, for projection, for longing. Each revealed piece carries weight, meaning, and depth. In the subtle withholding of full disclosure, a psychological dance begins, one of pursuit, of fascination, of obsessive attention. Jung would recognize this as a dance of projections, where the male ego places meaning upon shadows and glimpses, and the woman's conscious self navigates these projections with an understanding that she alone holds the power of narrative. Finally, the sixth trap is the embodiment of authenticity intertwined with unattainability. This is the paradoxical magnetism that confounds men at every level of consciousness. A woman who is entirely herself, her quirks, her intellect, her passions, her shadow, yet does not bend to desire or demand, activates an intense gravitational pull. He is drawn not by the superficiality of beauty or compliance but by the recognition of something profound and eternal, a psyche that mirrors his own unacknowledged depths, a soul that calls to his, and a spirit that refuses to be tamed. These six traps are not tricks. They are expressions of profound feminine power, a resonance with the rhythms of the psyche, an alignment with the eternal laws of attraction that dwell in the interstice between the known and the unknown. Each trap awakens elements within him he cannot name: obsession, longing, reverence, shadow, confrontation. Each is a reflection of something he has always sought but never dared to recognize. And the woman who employs these traps, consciously or unconsciously, does so from a place of self-possession, inner sovereignty, and spiritual attunement, a force that transcends mere desire and touches the archetypal depths of the human soul. Imagine this: you're watching him notice the subtleties of your world, the quiet gestures that speak louder than words. A tilt of your head, a moment of hesitation, a glance that lingers just long enough. These are not mere accidents. They are portals into the psyche, gateways through which a man encounters his own longing, his own shadow, the unspoken cravings of his unconscious. The traps are not in what is said but in what is not said. Each omission, each restraint, each measured reveal draws him deeper, pulling him into a space where he is compelled to invest, to imagine, to chase, to desire without fully understanding why. It is in this invisible dance that he begins to unravel, to probe, to reflect, to grow unknowingly under the spell of her conscious indifference and subconscious command. The first echo of attraction often begins in his shadow, the parts of himself he has locked away, ignored, or denied. When a woman presents herself with depth, complexity, and integrity, she confronts him with his own incompleteness. His ego, accustomed to control and certainty, becomes restless, stirred by the energy of her unshakable presence. This is not mere fascination, it is a psychological ignition. In her, he sees the embodiment of what he has not yet integrated: the capacity for emotional intelligence, for self-possession, for embracing mystery without fear. He begins to chase not because she asks him to, but because he is compelled to confront the pieces of himself that have long been neglected, projected, and silenced. A second dimension of these traps lies in the delicate balance of accessibility and distance. The woman who allows herself to be known, yet never fully unveils her totality, generates an invisible gravity. Men are drawn to what is tantalizingly incomplete, to the spaces where imagination and reality intersect. When she smiles but does not explain, when she speaks but leaves meaning unspoken, he experiences a heightened state of curiosity and engagement. Her autonomy, her self-containment, signals a value beyond superficial possession. Every act of restraint becomes an invitation for him to participate, to probe, to strive, not for domination, but for alignment with the enigmatic rhythm she establishes. The interplay of emotional resonance also becomes a subtle trap. A man senses the authenticity of a woman's emotional world, and it mirrors his own suppressed intensity. A simple gesture, a laugh that is unrestrained, a glance that communicates both empathy and detachment, elicits resonance in him that he cannot name. It awakens desire, fascination, and a compulsion to be near, to decode, to participate in this emotional ecosystem. He is drawn not by manipulation, but by the natural gravitational force of her presence, the alignment of her energy with both shadow and light, a dynamic that touches the Jungian archetypes embedded in the male psyche. Third, consider the trap of unexpected vulnerability. A man, accustomed to scripted interactions, encounters a woman who allows fleeting moments of authenticity, unshielded by the armor of pretense. These glimpses of genuine humanity are fleeting and rare, yet they carry weight beyond measure. In witnessing her vulnerability, he confronts his own resistance, his own fear of exposure. He becomes fascinated not only with her, but with the reflection of himself she evokes. It is a trap because he cannot control the response. The magnetism arises naturally from the interplay of his unconscious yearning and her conscious integrity. The fourth trap is the masterful use of silence and timing. In a culture obsessed with immediacy and response, the woman who employs deliberate pauses, who allows space for anticipation, activates psychological tension. Every delayed reply, every thoughtful pause, every subtle withdrawal from conversation becomes a mirror in which he projects his desires, anxieties, and fantasies. He is drawn deeper into the orbit of her psyche, compelled to fill the gaps with meaning, to engage with a presence that is both real and ethereal. The silence is not emptiness, it is fertile ground for obsession, reflection, and emotional investment. Fifth, there is the trap of enigmatic energy in motion. Her walk, her posture, her gestures, each carry subtle messages of independence, strength, and self-possession. Men are instinctively attuned to energy patterns. They feel the alignment of body and psyche. A confident step, a mindful gesture, a casual yet potent glance signals autonomy, capability, and depth. He responds not to the superficial allure of beauty, but to the resonance of power expressed through grace. Her movement becomes an unspoken narrative, a story in which he becomes a willing participant, captivated by the harmony of her being. Finally, the trap of selective attention draws him like gravity. She listens, observes, remembers, yet with measured care. The knowledge that she notices, yet does not validate indiscriminately, imbues every interaction with significance. He becomes invested in earning presence, attention, and recognition, compelled by the understanding that her energy is finite, precious, and sovereign. The trap is not coercion, it is the subtle alignment with fundamental human drives: desire for acknowledgement, pursuit of significance, and reverence for that which cannot be easily claimed. In these intertwined traps, men fall irresistibly, not through force, not through artifice, but through the alignment of feminine presence with unconscious archetypes, shadow resonance, and authentic self-possession. Desire becomes a reflection, obsession a mirror, and fascination a natural consequence of the intricate dance between ego, soul, and psyche. Here lies the mastery of feminine energy: to awaken fascination without demanding it, to evoke pursuit without coercion, to embody power without aggression. Most women underestimate the subtle intoxication of presence. They mistake attention for power and desire for connection. Yet, the man who falls irresistibly into the orbit of a woman who masters these traps is drawn not by mere beauty, nor by empty flirtation, but by an alchemy far older than language, a resonance with the unspoken currents of psyche, shadow, and longing. He senses her depth even if he cannot articulate it. He feels the pull of her autonomy, the mystery of her emotions, the magnetism of her deliberate restraint. Each encounter becomes a mirror reflecting parts of himself he has ignored, suppressed, or denied, the very shadows Jung insisted must be integrated. And in her refusal to be fully consumed by his gaze, he finds the challenge his ego cannot resist, the puzzle he cannot solve, the flame he instinctively chases. There is a dangerous elegance in the way a woman navigates emotional paradox. She allows intensity, yet never loses equilibrium. She expresses desire, yet does not surrender to it. She is approachable, yet untouchable. A man encountering this balance feels simultaneously invited and restrained, fascinated and unsettled. His mind churns with questions, fantasies, and projections, trying to decode the enigma of her presence. Each interaction awakens his deeper instincts, egoic pursuits entwined with unconscious yearning. He seeks not only connection, but understanding of the unknown parts of himself, the shadows he has projected onto the world. In her, he encounters both muse and mirror, seduction and self-discovery. The traps unfold further through the deliberate cultivation of detachment. A woman who does not tether her self-worth to external validation becomes an irresistible force. Her energy is not dictated by his attention, his praise, or his pursuit. It exists independently, sovereign and self-contained. Men are unconsciously drawn to what they cannot dominate, what resists control. In this space, Desire intensifies because it is not artificially manufactured. It is the natural consequence of his confrontation with authenticity, with a presence that challenges the ego and honors the soul. He chases because the psyche itself seeks alignment, resolution, and resonance with a force it cannot contain. Another layer of this psychological seduction lies in selective revelation. She shares glimpses of herself, meaningful fragments that hint at complexity, experience, and depth. He becomes addicted to the incomplete narrative, constructing meaning in the spaces she leaves intentionally empty. This is projection at its most profound. He invests in the story because it is unfinished, because her presence invites imagination and emotional engagement. In these gaps, he encounters both obsession and reverence, compelled to understand what cannot be fully grasped. Jung would recognize this as a dance of projection and anima encounter, a psychological engagement that elevates desire into something archetypal. The fifth dimension manifests through the embodiment of self-possession in motion. The way she inhabits her body, her gestures, her steps, her gaze, communicates more than words ever could. Her autonomy radiates from posture, from the rhythm of her presence, from the subtle assertion of personal sovereignty. Men are instinctually attuned to these energies. They read the alignment of body and psyche, the resonance of authentic confidence. In observing her, he feels both fascination and longing. His psyche recognizes the power of a woman who moves through the world unshaken, unconstrained, unapologetically herself. Every glance, every subtle movement, is a cue, a signal, a trap of irresistible magnetism. Finally, there is the trap of intentional attention. She listens selectively, observes meticulously, responds with measured care. Each acknowledgement carries weight, each glance signifies significance. He invests in earning her recognition, compelled by the understanding that her energy is precious, her presence finite, and her attention sovereign. This is no artifice. It is alignment with fundamental psychological laws. He pursues because he perceives value, because he understands at a deep instinctual level that what is given freely by no one is infinitely desired. In these intertwined strategies, desire becomes inevitable. Obsession is a mirror, fascination a natural consequence, and attraction a reflection of what lies dormant within him. The woman who embodies these principles does not chase. She radiates autonomy, mystery, and authentic power. She awakens longing not through manipulation, but through alignment with the deep, archetypal structures of human psyche. In her presence, men encounter the unacknowledged, the repressed, the shadowed parts of themselves, and are compelled to confront, to pursue, to admire, and ultimately to evolve. Every glance, every pause, every measured silence, every fragmentary revelation becomes a trap of irresistible psychological gravity. He chases because he senses something eternal and profound, something he cannot own but cannot resist. These traps, when wielded with conscious integrity, honor both the woman's autonomy and the man's unconscious need to encounter depth, shadow, and mystery. They are not tactics of coercion but expressions of archetypal feminine mastery, the dance of presence, shadow, and psyche that predates language itself. Some women live entirely in their own rhythm, unbound by expectation, unshaken by pursuit. In their presence, men discover the paradox of desire. It intensifies when not demanded, it burns brightest when met with detachment. A man who has followed the trails of mystery, silence, emotional resonance, and subtle autonomy finds himself in a landscape of fascination where obsession and respect coexist. He is drawn to the contours of her mind and spirit, to the depths she does not reveal, to the light she does not dim, and to the shadow she carries with dignity. In this encounter, he does not merely fall for her body, her smile, or her attention. He falls for the integrity of her being, for the authenticity that refuses to be compromised, for the magnetism of a soul fully inhabiting itself. The culmination of these traps is not in control or conquest, but in awakening. A woman who embodies these principles becomes a catalyst for transformation. He is compelled to face his shadow, to reconcile with the unacknowledged parts of himself, to confront desires he cannot name, and to pursue not with desperation but with reverence. She teaches without teaching, guides without instructing, influences without imposing. Her presence illuminates the unconscious dynamics within him, bringing awareness to patterns of longing, projection, and egoic pursuit. In her orbit, he is both challenged and inspired, compelled to evolve or face the emptiness of unintegrated desire. Detachment becomes her ultimate freedom. She does not bend to validation, she does not wait for pursuit to affirm worth, she does not measure her value by attention received. The irresistible man who has been pulled into her gravitational field is left to confront himself, his obsessions, his projections, his shadows, while she moves with calm sovereignty. This is the most potent trap of all. A woman who refuses to be consumed, who refuses to lose herself, who radiates autonomy so complete that desire becomes a mirror rather than a leash. In this space, attraction reaches its purest form. Her power lies not in pursuit but in presence, not in manipulation but in alignment with archetypal feminine energy, not in demand but in sovereignty. Every glance, every pause, every fragment of revelation, every gesture of independence, and every echo of mystery resonates with the ancient currents of psyche. Men fall not because they are tricked, but because they are awakened. They are drawn to what they sense as whole, unattainable, authentic, a reflection of their own shadows and potentialities, a dance with the eternal feminine that defies possession yet commands attention. And in the end, she remains unshaken. Free from the need to control, free from dependence on approval, free from the illusions of pursuit and conquest, she embodies the profound equilibrium of being fully herself. The man, captivated by her presence and confronted by his own depths, may follow, chase, or observe, yet she moves through the world with a sovereignty that cannot be claimed or diminished. Her magnetism is not a tactic. It is an expression of inner alignment, of shadow integration, of authenticity, of power born from self-awareness and psychological depth. The culmination is clarity, inner peace, and liberation. She knows the dance of attraction and desire, yet she does not allow it to define her. She recognizes the archetypal currents she awakens in men, yet she is untethered by expectation. In the embrace of her own sovereignty, she transcends the need for validation and the trap of reactive desire. She radiates freedom, depth, and enigmatic allure simultaneously, teaching without speaking, leading without commanding, influencing without demanding. Every interaction becomes a reflection, every pursuit a mirror, and every fascination a testament to the power of being entirely oneself.